Today we'll be taking a look at HP's new powerhouse laptop for creatives, the HP Envy 15, which gives the Macbook Pro and Dell XPS a run for their money. I purchased this HP Envy 15 to replace my previous 13-inch HP Envy X360 as I needed something much more powerful for the creative work that I'm doing, and so far I'm very impressed. I'll be using the HP Envy 15 primarily as a workstation in my office, connected to a HP Elite dock, which then enables seamless connectivity to multiple monitors and other peripherals such as my Logitech MX keys and MX Master 3 mouse. HP's Spectre range of laptops are generally considered to be the company's flagship range of portable computers when it comes to both performance and design. However, HP didn't cut any corners in the case of the 2020 Envy 15, so let's take a closer look. The Envy 15 comes in at about 36 by 24 centimeters with a height of 1.8 centimeters. It's slightly smaller than the latest MacBook Pro, but not quite as light and thin. Compared with the Dell XPS 15, it's slightly smaller and identical in thickness. For the sake of most users, I'd say the difference is negligible. The Envy 15 has a minimalistic silver all-aluminium design which is extremely solid and robust. I personally prefer the clean lines and the sharp corners of the Envy as opposed to the diamond cut design of HP's Spectre range. Branding is also very minimal, with the chrome HP logo featured on the top of the case and a small logo in the bezel below the screen. Once the lid's opened, we're presented with a chiclet style keyboard with upward firing speakers sitting on either side. The audio is tuned by a high-end Danish audio company, Bang & Olufsen, and the speakers produce a full sound for what they are. The previous version of the HP Envy 15 as well as the 2-in-1 Envy X360 both include a numeric keypad on the right hand side of the keyboard, which push the remaining keys towards the left of the device. I prefer the new design without the numeric keypad, as it means the keyboard is centered on the device, which I believe allows for a more balanced typing experience. The keys have 3 levels of backlighting, which is relatively standard these days, but regardless it's useful when working in dimly lit conditions. There's a fingerprint sensor built into the keyboard alongside the arrow keys, which I've found to be relatively responsive. Another useful feature is the Webcam shutter lock key. Rather than putting tape over the top of your webcam lens to prevent unauthorized webcam access, the shutter lock physically locks the lens shutter closed. So even if someone were to gain access to the webcam, with the shutter locked, all they would see was a black screen. There is also a similar microphone toggle switch that allows you to quickly mute and unmute your microphone, which is especially useful during remote work meetings. In the design department, HP have implemented some clever tricks with a clear emphasis on performance. Rubber feet run along the length of the body to raise it up from the surface more so than its competitors. Inside the case, the Envy 15 features vapor chamber cooling, which is a feature largely reserved for high-end gaming laptops or desktop graphics cards. Another feature which has not been seen in the Envy range previously. With a goal of challenging the MacBook Pro and Dell XPS as the ultimate laptop for creators, it goes without saying that performance was a priority when developing this laptop. It's powered by the new 10th gen Intel Core i7 processor, which can be boosted up to 5 GHz, although it is a slightly slower version than used in the Dell XPS. However, where the HP Envy 15 really shines is through its inclusion of the NVIDIA RTX 2060 Max-Q. And this is the third major laptop to feature this powerful GPU. This will no doubt allow the device to excel when attempting resource-heavy photo or video editing. The NVIDIA RTX 2060 Max-Q is marketed by NVIDIA as a more compact and efficient version of the powerful RTX 2060 GPU, hence its ability to fit inside the slim case of the Envy 15. My unit came with a 512GB SSD and 16 gigs of DDR4 memory, both of which can be upgraded. I've just received delivery of a 32MB RAM upgrade kit from Crucial, which I'll be installing shortly. However, this can also be an option when purchasing new. The Envy 15's 4K AMOLED display is absolutely stunning. If you've used an AMOLED display, then you already know how rich the colors are that can be achieved, and of course the contrast is unmatched by any other panel technology. The display is extremely bright at 400 nits, and I often find myself turning the brightness down to about 50% when using it. As expected from an OLED panel, the contrast is excellent, and with HDR enabled, it's up there with the best viewing experiences with perfect blacks and super bright highlights. The NV15's display is also going to satisfy the needs of its creative target market with its wide color gamut. It can display 100% of sRGB and 97% of Adobe RGB colors. Various sources claim that their measurements of the NV15's color space come in marginally better than the Macbook Pro 16. The one complaint I have with the NV15's display is the aspect ratio of 16:9, which is unfortunate when the MacBook Pro and the Xbox 15 are including displays with 16:10 aspect ratios within an almost identical form factor. Hopefully this is something HP addresses in the next generation. Connectivity is a strong point for this device, which is nice to see in a world where a variety of inputs and outputs is something we are seeing featured less and less of by its competitors. The NV15 features 2 USB-C ports with Thunderbolt 3 support, along with a full-size HDMI 2.0 port, another upgrade from the previous model's HDMI 1.4. This means that if you need, you can connect up to 3 displays without a dock. Although the USB-C port does support DisplayPort, it does not support power supply for charging the laptop. It can only be charged with the included AC adapter. You also get 2 USB-A 3.1 ports and a micro SD card reader. It's a shame that HP didn't include a full-size card reader, especially considering that this device is marketed towards creators who will in many cases be looking to transfer data from cameras. At the time of filming, the HP NV15 is available from HP Australia for just under $5,000 Australian, or US $3,500. However, I do believe you can pick this up in the US for around $1,600 US. Compared with the Dell XPS and the MacBook Pro of similar specs, the prices are in the same ballpark. In summary, if you are in the market for an extremely powerful laptop with impressive graphical performance that will handle any creative editing task you throw at it, and probably most games as well, with an incredible display to boot, you should definitely consider the HP NV15. Are there any negatives to keep in mind? The pros outweigh the cons, but it is worth considering the 16:9 aspect ratio of the display, the lack of full-size SD card reader, and the fact that it's not exactly a lightweight computer. If any of these are deal breakers for you, then perhaps you should consider an alternative option. My next project will be to upgrade the RAM on my NV15 from the included 16GB to its memory limit of 32GB with this upgrade kit from Crucial. So if you'd like to see how that's done, hit subscribe and the bell icon below so you'll be notified when the video drops. Till then, thanks for watching and I'll catch you at the next one.